Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm actually going to be talking about my first mum-related video. I actually, if you haven't seen this by now, and if you haven't been following me for a while or are new to my channel, I'm actually pregnant right now, currently 31 weeks and counting. Baby Hermione is going to be coming in July, so I'm going to be talking through some of my pregnancy related topics and things that I've experienced in pregnancy. I'm going to try and keep it quite real, but give you guys some really positive insight and also some great tips about how I coped in pregnancy. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I felt in the first trimester and how I dealt with my really bad morning sickness. I was actually quite sick, and if you know my channel by now, you know it's called Sophia's Kitchen. I'm all about food. I love food, and in the first trimester I was completely down with it. I couldn't eat almost anything that I liked, so I developed quite a few different things that helped me cope with it, and I want to share with you my top 10 tips on how to combat morning sickness. Now, this might not be a cure for morning sickness, but this is certainly something I've tried to at least help you cope a bit better during the first trimester. There are a lot of changes happening in your body with your hormones. They're adjusting, they're changing, they're increasing, and so some of us might feel sick, some of us might actually not, and it is really dependent on the person. But I personally felt quite sick. I wasn't severely sick. It was more the nausea I really tried to fight all the time. I wasn't physically sick all the time. I did have my moments. Unfortunately, they weren't really good. They weren't fun. But I know others who have suffered much more severely than me. So actually, I've been quite lucky in that sense that I wasn't too bad, but it's all worth it, isn't it? So I'm going to share with you the tips and talk you through every single one of them. First of all, let's clear something up here. Morning sickness is not actually morning sickness. It doesn't just happen in the morning. For me, actually, it was particularly bad in the evenings. So I had morning sickness all day. Particularly badly in the evening, and it was more the nausea part that really frustrated me. It was this constantly feeling like you're about to be sick, but you're actually not, and that was the worst part for me, and that lasted the entire day. It didn't just last in the morning. So whoever made that word up, I'm sorry, that's not right, is it? By the way, if you do hear some drums going on, I do live next to a school, so currently it seems to be music class. They're doing really well, actually. Now, back to the tips. Tip number one of my really important things was starting right in the morning, brushing my teeth. And brushing your teeth may seem like something completely normal, but if you're like me, anything like me, and I know there are other people out there like me, who brush their teeth and you get this slight gag reflex while you're brushing your teeth, I get that just when I'm not even sick. And when I did have the morning sickness in the first trimester, I got it so badly that starting my day in the bathroom, I would already be sick physically, so I'd throw up before even having breakfast, and that was a big trouble for me. So I developed a little bit of a technique on how to brush my teeth. So the way I've done it is I've actually taken my toothbrush, I brushed for a few seconds, closed my mouth, took a deep breath, and then continued brushing for the next 10 seconds. So I did it in intervals and actually took a little break before I continued again. And I think that helps you with that gag reflex, getting it under control. And it also helps you not to be sick straight away in the morning, which totally brings you off to a bad start in the day. The next one is peppermint tea. I drank a lot of peppermint tea. Peppermint is supposed to help you combat your morning sickness. It certainly does help you to feel a little bit more at ease. It's very good for nausea, very good for feeling unsettled in your stomach. So make yourself a lot of peppermint teas. Now, if you can't tolerate heat very well, if it's something that bothers you at the moment because you're sick, you might be in your first trimester right now, just, you know, sitting there going, oh my god, I hope she's gonna help me, and that might be something you don't do well with. So leave the tea to cool down, have some ice cubes and have it really ice cold. That's a cool idea too. I had peppermint tea at least 4 or 5 times a day, and it really helped. If you don't like the physical feeling of having peppermint tea, or you just don't feel like tea, you could also just use a few drops of peppermint essential oil and just sniff on them once in a while. It really helps you just to calm down a little bit again. Another one that I found really important, and you'll know this as soon as you get pregnant, everyone's going to bombard you with, oh, have you taken your folic acid? Are you making sure you have enough vitamin D intake, and all of these things that you need to take. So it can be quite daunting and overwhelming. I got myself some Pregnant Care, just the prenatals. It was all in one, had all of the things in there that I needed. It had the folic acid, it had the vitamin D, it even had the fish oil, a specific one that you can take during pregnancy. And I ended up taking them in the mornings and noticed straight after I did that, I actually felt quite nauseous, and these vitamins had reacted with me quite badly the entire day. So if you are anything like me and you feel like once you've taken the vitamins you feel quite nauseous, try and switch it up and actually have them in the evening just before you go to bed. I find as I did that, I wouldn't even notice it in the night because I wouldn't wake up feeling sick in the night at all. And then you can combat that a little bit, because it is a lot of adjustment for your body and you are pumping it full of new things that it probably didn't have before. So taking it in the evening after you've had your meal, just as you're about to go to bed, with a glass of water, you probably won't notice it in the night and it will feel much, much better. During the first trimester, I noticed that eating had become a bit of an issue for me. So it wasn't just the type of food I eat, it was when I would eat and how I would eat. So I actually developed a bit of a routine where in the mornings, and that's one of my really big top tips, I would start my day off very early as soon as I woke up with really plain cereal. So Jessie would come downstairs, quickly rush into the kitchen as soon as I wake up, bring me a bowl of cereal. I just had the normal cornflakes without any flavorings and some milk, and I'd eat that straight away as soon as I woke up. If you do that, you at least settle your stomach straight away when you wake up, and that can help you overcome that initial nauseous feeling that you have when you just wake up. I find it just helped you start the day a little bit, feeling less tired, less drowsy, less, you know, oh God, another thing, you know. So that was quite a good one. And try and keep it quite plain. The more flavors you introduce, I find that was the case for me anyway. The more flavors I introduced, the harder it became to digest, especially sweet treats and sweet food. So keeping cornflakes, sticking to something plain was actually really, really helpful for me. Something else that was really, really important to me was to snack often and regularly. So I actually kept a stash of crackers next to my bedside, so when I woke up, even before Jessie was able to bring me my cereal, I had crackers. And I just had one plain like Tuck cracker or Ritz cracker or whichever cracker pleases you. I had some with rosemary and salt. I find that the saltiness really, really helped settle me a lot. So instead of having something sweet, I'd just have a plain cracker. It fills you up a tiny bit. Not that it's particularly nutritious, but the cracker really helps give you something to control that acid in your stomach. And I think that really helps you to just feel a little bit more sane during the day. Have them in your bag, have them in your handbag, have them next to your living room table, have them in your bedside table. Wherever you can put some crackers, just have them there. And if you are going out somewhere, don't feel bad for taking out the crackers somewhere in the middle of a pub if you're going out. It is just what it is, and it's going to really help you combat some of that sickness feeling. And I just had them all over the place, really. I loved my crackers. Now, if you feel like you're getting a little bit sick of your crackers and they're getting a little bit tiring and boring, you could, for example, add bits of cottage cheese or a little bit of cream cheese. I just dipped them in and that really helped. Hummus is also a good one. I tended to stick to cold things that were a little bit savory, and that really helped create that lovely balance that made me feel a little bit more at ease. On the topic of eating and snacking, I found something that really helped me was to eat cold food rather than hot food. Having big meals with hot food instantly made me feel sick. So I instantly went to the bathroom, and it wasn't fun because the hot food and the flavors and fragrances that come up with the hot food really irritated me. I was extremely sensitive to smell. I smelled absolutely anything from anywhere. If you were to make a curry next door, I would have smelt it and I would have felt sick. So if you're anything like me and you feel a little bit, you know, too sensitive about smell, try not to have too many hot meals. Stick to colder meals. Things like, you know, bread with some dip or some raw carrot sticks, maybe a little bit of chopped apple. Those types of things really did it for me. I also tried things like salad. I had a lot of cold salads, which were nutritious first of all, because I added in some chopped up red peppers, some cucumber. They were all nice and crunchy and cold, which did really well for me. But I also tried to add in a little bit of at least protein and fiber. So I added in some seeds and I added in some nuts. Almonds really help. And if you can tolerate it, add in some cold pieces of chicken breast that you may have fried beforehand, because if it's cold, it doesn't taste as fragrant and it actually really helps you control that sense of smell. I did particularly badly with meat in the first trimester. I completely went off all meat. I couldn't eat anything that was on the bone, that was chunky. It was just one of my big aversions. So the way I dealt with it was by shredding up my chicken instead and putting it in the salad shredded, so that I wouldn't really see the chicken, and at least I got the protein, because you do need to eat something. And if you have that as well, try shred it up. It really helps. For me, another really important thing about eating food was that I wouldn't eat too late. And that's actually something that's come back now in the third trimester. I found that eating past sort of 6:30 or 7 latest was really a killer for me. Instantly, no matter what I would eat, wouldn't fit in anymore. I wouldn't be able to stomach it, and I would throw up straight away. So try and keep to earlier schedules if you feel like that affects you as well. Smaller meals and earlier schedules. So past 6:30, I wouldn't go anywhere there, because if it is anything bigger, a bigger meal, you will be finding it really hard to digest it, and that's what really was unsettling my stomach actually. So trying to keep it to an earlier schedule really helped me at least enjoy my evening and not feel like I'm about to go to the toilet again. Because you're not eating so much, you will need to keep well hydrated, and most likely you're going to want to drink lots of water. Now, I got extremely bored of my water, so a way to combat that is by spicing up your water intake. So potentially drink some sparkling water, add in some elderflower cordial. I sometimes add in some cucumber because it's quite refreshing. Ginger really helps. So I actually added in pieces of ginger into my sparkling water and drank that. Just anything that sort of helps you spice up your water a little bit, to make it a little bit less annoying to drink all day. I completely stayed away from all things like sugary Coke or fizzy pops or Sprite, things like that. I didn't do that altogether, because the sweetness would instantly unsettle my stomach again, so it'd give me that heartburn feeling. And actually now in the third trimester I'm getting that heartburn back, so yeah, you're in for a treat there. Final tip is that, you know, give yourself a break. You are growing a human being inside of you. Rest a lot. I found that resting really helped me. I got extremely tired. The extra hormones made me very fuzzy, and my brain didn't engage at all. Luckily, I was in my first trimester during Christmas time, so although I couldn't drink anything, I at least could rest, which was really good. But if you feel like you need to rest. Give your body the time. Don't beat yourself up. You are doing a tremendous amount of work, and you're doing something really wonderful. If you are currently watching this thinking, gosh, I'm so sick right now, I just need someone to help me, just give yourself a break, rest a little bit, then try and follow some of these tips that I've given you, and make sure that you drink plenty all the time. That really helps. Just rest. And you know what? It'll pass. I can tell you from my experience, literally, after the first trimester was done, I think it was when I was about 14 weeks, I had so much hunger, it was amazing. And now I eat absolutely everything. I have no more aversions, there's no more problems with the smell, I don't throw up anymore. The heartburn does come back, but that's fine. Everything else is completely back to normal. Your body will adjust and you will be absolutely fine. For some of you, occasionally this might last a little while longer, but just keep practicing, keep going through those tips, and keep trying small things that will make small improvements to you every day that will keep you sane. Bonus tip! Something else that I found actually really important, it's more like a principle than a tip, is if you've noticed there's a food or a type of food that you can't eat, don't try it again. I have beat myself up so much when I was in the first trimester, and I thought, gosh, I'm gonna have to try chicken again. It can't be that I just can't eat meat anymore. So I did try again, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. When your body's rejecting this in the first trimester, it is rejecting it. Please don't try it again. You'll just give yourself a tough time just because you want to prove yourself a point. It doesn't matter. If you just can't eat it, don't worry about it. Leave it out. It'll come back to you naturally. Even if it's only at 25 weeks, it doesn't matter. At some point it will come back to you. So don't beat yourself up about food that you can't eat well. Once you know you can't do it, leave it out. Thank you for watching, guys. I can't wait to see you next time. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more progress on my pregnancy, and also, of course, to follow my amazing recipes in the kitchen when I am actually cooking food. And I'll see you guys next time.